If you're looking to expand your business to Serbia, a Western styled business plan simply ain't going to cut it. When it comes to banks, government incentives, compliance, all that needs to be Serbian specific. And so, what I'm going to do today is show you what that looks like and how we work with you to design your business plan. One of the things that we see quite often and more these days is companies looking to expand into Serbia. Now, the only issue with that is that they think what they have as a business plan in their country where their business or their flagship business is, or their mother base, or whatever you want to call it, is established, that same business plan is going to work here in Serbia. And that is going to cause them a lot of headaches, has cost some clients a lot of time and money and headaches on top of that. And when we are involved in our team here at Relocation Serbia, things are much clearer when going and a lot easier to do when applying for tax incentives, when it comes to government grants, when it comes to opening up a bank account. Even though that the bank system here is not CRS or in the CRS system, they also want to stay compliant with making sure that you're not doing any money laundering or, up to no good when it comes to your business. And so why is a Serbian specific plan important? Well, the banks, they want to verify the purpose and nature of your business. You're going to be expected to have a short business plan with flows, clients, and suppliers that you're going to be using. When it comes to government incentives, the incentives you're applying for, requires a formal business plan with a 3 to 5 year forecast. So if you don't know what you're doing here in Serbia, or you're bringing in a model that you have from another country, and you're trying to replicate that model here, which we've seen a lot of clients do, is that we make sure that that business plan that goes out 3 to 5 years is what the government wants to see, what the bank wants to see, and what any other institution may want to see when it comes to developing and establishing that new business here or that branch of business here in Serbia. The other thing you're going to have to look at is the cost differences here in Serbia. So you have a 15% corporate income tax rate here, and then are you going to be in the VAT system, which is a 20% VAT tax, but depending on the type of business that you have, and this can also be done within the business plan, it can be reduced down to 10% depending on the type of business that you're doing. And then you also have to look at how is payroll conducted here in Serbia, what is the employer's obligations, and what are the employee contributions as well, because that's not the same as your home country, and no country typically is the same. There are some similarities, but again, it all depends on the type of industry that you're looking to set up here, and all of that varies. The government incentives vary. The R&D tax credits, they vary from time to time. Some of them go away, some new ones pop back up, and sometimes you're eligible for more than just one tax incentive or one government grant. It all depends. Now, also you have to look at when it comes to hiring assumptions. The wages vary from sector to sector. So are you setting up a construction business? Are you setting up an IT business? Or are you setting up something that is a new business that has never been seen here in Serbia? That all varies. You have to also look at what city you're setting up in. That also varies when it comes to the wages. Often it's lower than foreign countries, but then again, you have some higher taxes you got to look at too. What kind of business structure are you going to be setting up as well? That has to come into play. You have to also look at, when you're setting up your business plan, are you compliance readiness? And what I mean by that is you have to show awareness of certain things such as e-invoicing. Are you going to be working with international clients, or are you going to be working with domestic clients and domestic partners? Are you going to be doing VAT registration, and are you going to be doing reporting? If so, you have to show that within your business plan as well. And then also we have to know in that business plan is what kind of activity code are you going to be using? Because when you're setting up a business here in Serbia, the taxes and the regulations apply to the activity code that you're filing under. And then you also have to see, are you eligible to file under that activity code as well? Some of the common mistakes that the foreigners make that we've seen that end up coming to our office, regardless if it's here in Novi Sad or if it's in Belgrade, is that what they do is they bring a plan from the West, all right? Something that, they did back home and they think that it's going to work. They did it 4 or 5 years ago, and that has pretty much expired. And in Serbia is a completely different beast when it comes to that. So you ignore the taxes that are in your business plan. They ignore the VAT. They also ignore payroll and how that does, and so the numbers don't work, and so they get rejected when time comes to apply for their business model and business grants and funding and what it could be. You have to look at your financial model also. What is your 3 to 5 year plan? Are you using the same 3 to 5 year plan that you had 10 years ago? If you're expanding from an existing business, well, your 3 to 5 year plan might actually not take 3 to 5 years from when you originally opened it. It actually could be a lot faster here because you already established it in your home country and you know how that business functions. So it's not going to take as long to get to your threshold or your goal when it comes to your financial model. What kind of P&L statements are you using? And then again, we look at payroll and contributions and the VAT flows. How much reporting are you doing? What bracket are you setting up into? Then we're looking at the banking pack. The Serbian banks here use a know your client narrative. So they want to know that you're in a legitimate business. It's going to take a couple weeks for that bank account to get approved. And while you're waiting, you don't want to be sitting back thinking, hey, listen, is my business plan actually going to get approved, or am I just wasting time here? So working with someone who knows how these business plan works are going to help you succeed in establishing that branch or new business here in Serbia. You also have to look at what kind of expected volumes are you going to be getting. The banks are going to ask for a number of documents from you, and then as well as sample invoices. Do you have a website? How are you found? They want to vet you as a legitimate business, make sure that they're not taking on risk that may interfere with their own business practices. And then you're also going to look at what kind of funding that you're getting. So if you're looking for funding, a good proper business plan is going to work better for you here in Serbia than if you were to bring something from another country. Now we have a couple real life scenarios that that I'm going to talk to you about right now. Is that we have a U.S. SaaS company in Belgrade. They needed local payout and a VAT model plus a 5-year forecast in order to get a bank account set up here, in order to get their grant application submitted and also succeeded. So that's something, in the US is one beast altogether. Or a different beast altogether. And if you're looking to bring in that model here, well, that's going to be completely different. One thing that in the United States is that access to credit is very easily done there. However, here in Serbia, it is completely difficult to get credit. Many times you need to be in business for up to 2 years before you can apply for a credit card. So that is something that we have to look into, and how are we going to work around that as well? Are you going to be looking for private capital, or are you going to be looking to get your revenues up sooner than later so that you can potentially apply for some sort of funding from a bank? The other one is a EU lighting manufacturer in Novi Sad. They showed the Western margins were ignored when it came to VAT contributions. And so what happened was that we were able to fix that model and align it with the RAS incentives and actually reduce their VAT taxes in that regard as well. So you can see how those two businesses right there are completely different business models. And then with that manufacturer also, they had to hire a number of staff as well, and then they were entitled to some more government funding with that as well. And so that's something we are able to advise them in their business plan. Hey, listen, if you spend this much money in this type of business and are able to hire this type of this many people, then you are going to be able to get essentially a tax holiday. And that's something also that you may be eligible for here in Serbia as well, is that you establish a business here, you put in a bunch of money, you hire a number of individuals, and then you can be exempt from all corporate taxes for up to 10 years. And then the last one that we helped recently set up was a boutique consultancy firm here. They needed an urgent bank account. So what we ended up doing is we prepped the purpose and nature plan of them obtaining that bank account. And the account was opened in what usually took 3 weeks in about 4 days. So that's something else that we were able to help them out with here. And also depending on the bank, some banks don't care about what your urgency is. And so being that we're here and we have people within these systems and we're able to direct you to the appropriate bank and so that you get approved, that is something else that is of value for you. So not only are we able to set up a proper business plan for your business model, but also expedite many of the systems and processes that or that you would have to incur regardless of if you're doing it on your own or with another company such as us here at Relocation Serbia. So if Serbia is on your roadmap, you got to get that business plan in place. You need to work with Serbia's experts. So we have an expert team here of bookkeepers, lawyers, tax advisors, other consultants and people that have worked in this niche for a number of years. We've built a local number of compliance articles for our clients. And the banking story that I mentioned also expedites many of the processes. So if you're interested in opening up a branch here or a new business here in Serbia, feel free to book in that consultation so that we can understand your story and get you started here in Serbia.